Welcome back to the Kliq podcast, everyone. Episode 2. This is just a review of Sarah and I. We went to AEW Dynamite in Colorado Springs.
And it was so much fun. It was my first ever American wrestling event, so it was a lot of fun.
So we got there pretty early. So initially, let's just start with at least the day.
Yeah.
No, we were super hyped, of course, going up. We knew leading up to the event that we were going to see Jay White versus Ricky Starks, that we were going to see OC and Swerve. I think there's a few other things I can't think of off the top of my head. But we knew of a lot of exciting things going down. There's a lot of rumor and speculation about a new Bullet Club member, so we had that in mind because Juice Robinson was banned. So we already had a lot of excitement going into the show. If you listen to the last podcast, the first episode of the Kliq where I interviewed my fiance Sarah, you heard us talk about her being friends with the Bucks and their family. So we go out to eat first when we get there. And we got to Outback, so she's Australian. I took her to Outback Steakhouse. What was your review on that?
That was so delicious.
What did you get?
I got a 5-ounce steak and fries. They called them Aussie fries, but I still can't figure out why they were Aussie fries.
I want to say the seasoning, but it was pretty
maybe
basic.
the seasoning, yeah.
Basic.
But they were delicious, and the steak was so juicy.
Yeah, they were really good. I had a 9-ounce, I believe, fillet. Excuse me, a 9-ounce fillet, and I had
you had
fries.
some chicken.
Oh yeah, and it came with chicken, with sautéed mushrooms. That was so good. But overall, what did you think of it? Being Australian themed, and you're from Australia.
It was okay. There wasn't anything that really jumped out to me, being Australian, especially
you don't think
on
they try
menu?
to be overly Australian?
Nah.
Even though their names of everything was but they even had blokes on the bathroom door.
But that's what I'm saying. I think the real Aussie part to that restaurant was the signs on the bathroom doors. Blokes for men, Sheila's for women.
I never even heard that one.
So Sheila is a old school bogan-esque name for a woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a really Aussie thing. So when I saw that, I kind of just laughed to myself. I was and then I don't know what it's like in the male bathrooms. But in the female bathrooms of Sheila's, if you will, they had different Australian animals.
They might have had stuff like that, but I just didn't pay attention.
Didn't notice.
I just went to go use it.
I think I took photos of them.
You might have, yeah.
I think I did. I'll put them on my socials if I did. But I found that pretty cool. And
service was good too.
The service was very good. They were very onto it. It wasn't overly busy in there either, which I think
it was
good.
early in the day. It was we got up there around 1 or 2 p.m.
Yeah, we got there kind of early.
2 p.m. I think. The show doors open at 4.
We got obviously seated straight away. Service was pretty much instant. It was very good.
I even brought up to the waitress. I was like, she's Australian. I brought her to an Australian restaurant.
Oh, the appetizers we had were very good.
What did we get?
The mac and cheese.
Oh, the mac and cheese
the fried
bites.
Mac and cheese bites.
Oh my gosh.
Holy moly.
They were hot as hell though.
And if you know me,
as in stove hot.
I love mac and cheese. It's one of my all-time favorite foods.
Burnt my tongue on them.
They were very hot. Then, we started eating them, and a waitress was walking past, and she's just letting you know they're hot.
Because we went right in with the ranch and everything.
She's like, "Oh, they're hot," and we're like, "That." I'm like, "That's a good thing." But they were very, very good. Very cheesy, very macaroni-ish. They were very good.
So we went immediately after that to once we were done, it was 3 p.m. Doors open at 4. We went. We were at first we're hopeful that we could see them walking in, but we already knew they were in by then.
Yeah.
So there's already a line forming. So we went and waited in line for about an hour. We actually got interviewed.
Yes.
So there was
I think her name's Zena.
Zena. I don't know how you say it. I'm so bad with names. She does content on YouTube and TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, Twitter. And she was going around interviewing people in line. She interviewed people around us and then interviewed us. She's really nice. I've seen her have interactions with other people on Twitter, SRS and other type of content creators, I guess, if you will. Yeah. So I knew of her. She's very tall.
She's very tall.
Well,
very beautiful woman.
And I think she's Russian. She has a very thick accent. She's really friendly. She liked our outfits. We had wrestling themed, obviously on. She's like, I like that people when they wear the wrestling stuff to the shows. She had her Bucks leggings.
So I had my Sammy and Ty shirt, and I had some Super Kick Party leggings, which are Young Bucks.
They were cool.
Inspired.
They were really colorful.
Unfortunately, you can't get them anymore. They were done before AEW was even a thing. Yeah. So I've had them a while.
But so that was a fun interview. I believe that has not been posted. Sorry, I took a hit before streaming or the video in the podcast. And it was not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's been posted as of yet. We will obviously let you guys know when it is up, so you guys can go and check it out.
She just posted something from Baltimore, which was, I think, on my birthday.
Yeah, because our friend B-More went.
So that was
show,
a month prior. So, but we will obviously, if this ever gets posted, we'll talk about it again and let you guys know about it. But that was cool. That was interesting. We finally got in. So we were under the structure. It was sprinkling rain. It wasn't like bad. There was thunder for a bit, but it didn't rain hard. It just sprinkled. Yeah. So we were all like, we went to the left and like kind of wrapped around to where we could hide the whole, like the line.
And then they're like,
right as they were about to open, they made us line up straight. So we basically had to reline up and get in line.
They're like, we know it's raining, but you need to be lining up here. And like,
yeah, that's their fault for not lining up, like putting anything indicating that's the way we should. Yeah,
there wasn't any like barriers or anything that indicated
no ropes, nothing.
That we needed to stand in front of the doors.
So that
for
was
them
some
to
dog water that they had to do that bullshit.
But it was raining. I was getting kind of annoyed.
We were entry A, and then there was B not too far to our left.
They got let in first.
And they weren't the ones hiding in the rain like we were.
Yeah, and it took like we assumed, okay, they're getting us to line up, they're going to open doors. They took about 10 minutes to open our doors.
Yeah, so by the time we get in, we wanted to obviously go check out the merch line was a mile long.
And we're just looking to the left of us, and freaking all of B are nearly inside, and our doors hadn't opened yet. I'm like, really?
And it was just sprinkling, so we didn't get like soaked, so that was fine. We didn't get soaked,
but at the same time, like you're standing out. And
the wind got annoying after a minute. But in the end, we got in. That was fine. It was like it probably wasn't super long either. It was like, it felt like 10 minutes longer than the other line. Yeah. So it wasn't like overly long, but that felt
But at the same time, like
long.
It's raining, I'm like, surely.
But obviously they have protocols.
Sorry, we got food coming. I just wanted to keep it
obviously they have protocols, so.
Yeah.
But that was a little bit kind of
But I think like once the doors open, things ran pretty smooth.
Yeah, we got on. We went and got some water immediately, and then we went to our seats.
To take in with us.
Met a few people who recognized us. Shout out Cyrus Barton, the second time I bumped into you at AEW. And a few others. Bumped into Brendan, I believe. Braden?
Braden.
1K Braden. Yeah. A few others. I think a few others ran. We were going to the bathroom in between shows, and I'm sorry we didn't get to formally talk to you.
I needed to pee so bad,
and
but I
ended up having to pee once I realized that she had to go. And I was like, okay, I have
I feel bad because this girl stopped us, and she's like, I follow you both. And we're both like, we're so sorry, but we need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, so I felt bad because we didn't see her again.
Yeah, she didn't come back and find us, so I felt a little bit bad about that.
But shout out to the people that said what's up. There was even people in line, I forgot to say, that said what's up, that recognized me. Someone Josh had a chat with. There was the two people in front of us, like one in front of us and the one behind us.
Yeah.
Like the one behind us, it was right as I posted the TikTok. And he was like, oh yeah, I follow you. And he showed me, and I was like, oh shit, what's up?
He was like, hey, I follow you.
And then like at one point, cool. some like, I think it was the actual police, they were like going in through the special entrance we were kind of hiding by, and they're like, what time does this start? And I was like, the show starts at, like, I kind of like hesitated.
Kind of reverted to like streaming time.
And then the guy in front of me goes, come on, Josh, you always do the previews.
Yeah.
And I was like,
like, busted.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's just like out of habit, saying like
even though I went to
PM.
Mania this year and I experienced it pretty often, it's still weird. Like, the first time I recognized was when the first ever time I think I've talked about this before. First ever time I ever had someone got recognized, or at least like said what's up to me, that they knew me from this, that I didn't know at all, was here the day we went to go pick you up from the airport when you came last year.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying you stopped in at a gas station or something. My
buddy Matt took me to go pick her up because I was again having car issues.
I had bad timing.
And he took me, so we stopped at the gas station. We were getting gas and getting some munchies, and this dude was like, hey, what's up, man? I just want to say that keep doing what you're doing. Love seeing people do stuff out of Pueblo. I was like, oh shit, like what? Like, yeah, so it's still weird. It's like been a year now that that's happened, but it's still weird. So we get to our seats. We were third row. It was super close. We got there. We were in like 40 minutes before they had like when the show starts, which was an hour before Dynamite.
It was cool because they were fun, like with people like going up to the barrier and taking photos.
Yeah, there was
like
people
selfies.
Even like that were just chilling there for like a long time that had like belts. They were taking photos and like videos. And then like if people walked up, they're like, "Oh, go ahead. Here, do you want to take a photo with my belt?" And like there was people like they were just taking photos.
The security guard was chill. Like we asked them, we're like, "Hey, is it okay if we go up here and take?"
We took a video.
Take photos, and the security guard's like, "Yeah, I really don't care. Go for it."
I took a video of showing the floor, like me hitting the barricade. Like it was when they had the ROH set up. Yeah, it was really fun to do that. Everyone around us was really cool too. All the fans were all cool as hell.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anyone that was.
It was a very cool environment to
no
be
one
to
overly
be a
stood
part
up.
of.
I think we're all marks, so it was all right. Smart.
Everyone stood up when they were supposed to, sat down when they needed to. You know, like
there was a few times I felt like there was a few people standing up, so I had to stand up.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But I don't think especially like when the matches were going on, like everyone was courteous.
Yeah.
You know, once
definitely.
the entrances were done and the match was getting underway, like they sat and
we
it was fine.
We both yelled our heads off from the opening match. So the opening match for us, so they did 2 ROH matches. I'm assuming they'll air sometime. I don't know when.
Yeah.
They didn't they didn't air
last
last week, so I don't know if they're aired this week, but they did Emi Sakurai and Megan something. She just came back from some type of ACL injury.
Yeah.
They tag teamed against Willow and Maki Ito. Which was incredible to see her entrance live because it's really cool. She sings and dances.
It was just so funny, like,
and then I love Willow
because Josh is like, who's going to be her partner? I'm like, I bet it's Willow, and
because they just fought, you know, on Rampage the week prior.
Because of Willow and Emmy the week before.
They fought on Rampage. Yeah.
And
so,
he's like,
sure enough,
mark out, and then her music hits. And
I think I have video of it. I'll post it on TikTok. I don't think I posted that yet. Marked out for that. That was a fun tag match. Maki Ito did her little falling.
Yeah, you know, her little comedy gimmick, which was fun.
Good match in the end. It was hard hitting. You could hear the elbows and slaps they were giving each other. In the end, I believe it was Willow and Maki that with the win. I think Willow hit it with a powerbomb, I believe. The second ROH match was a pure match, so we got to see Dean Malenko, Jerry Lynn, and Christopher Daniels on the stage for the judging. And it was Daniel Garcia of the Jericho Appreciation Society, which we had no idea. So I, for some reason, thought it was Shibata. So me being a nerd was like, it's going to be Shibata. It's going to be Shibata. I'm like saying out loud for everyone to hear.
And then we see not the JAS, the DG logo on the background for his Titantron.
Oh, yes, for Daniel Garcia. Yeah. So it was DKC from the LA Dojo of New Japan who first came out, and then we're like, okay, pure, because we knew they announced Jerry Lynn and Daniels and Malenko on the stage for the match, and they said what the match was. But I didn't hear them not say it wasn't a title match. I thought it was for the title, so I thought, Shibata,
yeah, he's like, oh my God, we're going to see Shibata.
And then it ended up being Daniel Garcia. So I was like, oh, okay, but yeah, Daniel. Like I've seen him before, but like, okay, he's good. So she lost her freaking mind.
Yeah, so I did not get a chance to sing Judas like I wanted to because he was not there, and that was rude. But I got to see 3 members of JAS, so I was pretty happy.
Yeah, so she really marked out for Daniel. I think the majority of the fans were probably on Daniel's side, but there was a good amount of people, me included, who were like, come on, DK. But it was the majority was Daniel Garcia. He won in a fun match. They did have a couple rope breaks, so that's where, if you pure rules, it's interesting. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but I know that there's only 3 rope breaks that a person could get if you're in a hole and you got the ropes. So if you use all 3 and you're in another submission, you go to the ropes, you can't use it anymore. Like, that doesn't matter. So in the end, it was Daniel Garcia. He won. It was a good match. He was a very good heel in the match. He was yelling at DKC all loud and everything.
Did his role well.
Immediately, they were about 10 minutes away from Dynamite, so they changed everything as quick as possible. And before we knew it, Tony Khan was out there, and they actually, no, I lied. They have about 20 minutes because then they did the Sandra tribute.
So Dustin Rhodes came out, and if you don't know, Sandra is a seamstress. She's been making their costumes for WWE and AEW for a long time. I believe she even
did stuff for WCW, supposedly.
I think so, yeah. So she's been around a very, very long time and is very good family friends now with the Rhodes family. And she retired, so they gave her a farewell.
They had Dustin Rhodes came out and he did a whole thing. They showed, they had her come out with some family on stage. I think they have this up on their social media now.
I think they do,
and Twitter and stuff. And they did a whole tribute from wrestlers that weren't there, like saying thank you. And I guess she's going to continue doing Cody's gear only. Yeah,
so she's, she's not working for AEW anymore, but she's going to continue making gear for Cody Rhodes.
So, she's making that money.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That was awesome. And then it immediately went into Dynamite, which started off with the OC match. Of course, OC always starts off Dynamite. So it's OC Swerve. So
OC and Swerve.
Arguably the best match of the night. Man. And of course, I was under the impression that we'd see a new champion.
Me too. I'm really, really surprised we didn't.
I was fine if OC lost. And my cousin Rick, who comes over every Wednesday, I had said that. I had quote tweeted someone on Twitter and that asked me that they thought this was Swerve's time. And I just felt like sharing my opinion with my Twitter followers. Like, hey, I'm going to quote tweet this and be like, hey, me too.
Yeah.
It was more like I'll be fine if this happens, type of deal. And Rick like replied with like 4 gifs, different tweets, separate tweets, replies of like it's on site. Like how could you have done this?
Yeah, like you and me, we're
after
done.
what we've been through.
Yeah,
like
we're done. It was so funny.
And I was like, I'm just saying, if it happens, this is not the worst person that could win it. Like it could have been worse.
I was really convinced that we were going to see.
So
a new
obviously,
champion.
the way we're talking means OC retained, but it was
Yep.
a freaking fantastic match. It's the second time I've seen Swerve wrestle. I saw him last time they came, and he was the main event on Rampage with Wheeler Yuta, and that was a good match too.
That would have been
so
fun.
now I've seen 2 great Swerve matches, and I think OC defended against Trent in that Denver Rampage as well, which was a fun but good match. What did you think of that match overall?
That was fun.
It was really good. We already were starting to lose our
The
voices
best
at
part
this
for
point.
me was seeing Brian Cage.
Yeah, oh,
I
that's true. Yeah, they came.
love
Oh,
Brian Cage.
I totally. Thank you. You're gonna help me remember a lot of things. So yes, how did I even forget this? Because this is a big part of the show. So immediately, of course, the Mogul affiliates or Mogul Embassy, whatever they're called now, jump in and start jumping on OC and beating
Yeah.
him down with Prince Nana yelling, black, completely black. And you see usually when like you see fan footage of arenas going dark for pro wrestling, typically it seems like they could kind of see okay.
Yeah, so
But I think it may just be the camera lens because it was fucking pitch black.
so I was under that
couldn't
impression
see
too. I was
shit.
like, because obviously on TV you don't see anything. You can't.
You
see
know,
it.
obviously
And
your
I was
eyes can
like-
adjust.
I was like, surely they're live. They see these things happening. They see people walking past. No one.
We're obviously, and we're a catty corner, so we did have a ring post
Yeah.
at sometimes like kind
But
of in our way, but it wasn't really
no
that
one
bad.
saw that happening.
Yeah, so
Sting and Dog.
I saw him when he was like climbing up on the apron because I saw the glowing of his face mask.
Yeah.
How do I stay energized while I'm editing my content all day for TikTok and live streaming on Twitch? Well, that's easy. I drink G Fuel. G Fuel Energy comes in these tubs with 40 servings, 140 milligrams of caffeine, no sugar, low calories, and no additive flavors. It locks me in with good focus and energy throughout the day to keep me going and staying at the top of my game. Use my code HEALJOSH, saves you 20% off when you make purchases off the G Fuel website. There's also energy cans that come in 140 milligrams of caffeine and 300 milligrams of caffeine. You could also get those at Vitamin Shop, GNC, and many more. Check out gfuel.com for a store near you or order off the website where you use my code to save 20%. Sorry for the little pause there, but it was dark and I couldn't see shit. So like we were saying, like you usually think that like you see videos on YouTube,
Yeah,
like
you'd
Bray
see-
at least. I guess because they're phone lights. We didn't have a few people put on their phone light.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I couldn't see shit.
I just assumed like I'd be able
But
to
I
see
saw
like
his face.
shadows of someone walk. See, I didn't even see the
I
face
saw his
glow.
face coming up, and that's when you hear it. And then I hear a few people around me say "Sting, Sting," and then I go "Sting." You hear me in the video I posted, like
Yeah.
questioning it,
And then it
I
clicked to
saw
me
his
as well. I was
face.
like, Sting!
And then the lights
it
hit.
clicked.
I never
That obviously
expected to see
made
Sting
sense
live.
after what had happened previously the week before. So
I didn't expect to see Sting live. Made sense, but I was like, oh my god, and like so excited to see him. And then of course like I went to commercial for TV because it was live, and so they kind of like did the little poses, and then they left, and that was,
It was
incredible.
cool. It was
incredible.
fun.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what was immediately after that. Because
Ye-
oh no, MJF Adam Cole.
oh,
I'm sure we might have something else. but
that
let
was
me-
that was very, very good from both sides.
Yeah, that was incredible. But let me double check to make sure that I'm right on
I think you
the
are.
results. But if that was it, that promo was incredible. Yeah, so no, we actually had a backstage segment with Brian
Oh
Danielson
yes, I'm
addressed
sorry. Addressing
Okada. It was kind of the
Okada.
video that we kind of already saw from
Oh, yeah,
him.
no, that's right. We were wrong.
Yeah, so we were 100% wrong here. So then we got the Blackpool Combat Club immediately after versus Chaos,
Chaos.
best friends, and I believe it was Rocky Romero because Chaos.
Yep.
So that was a fun match. Obviously, we were third row, and we were right on the side where Moxley
Where
and
they
then usually walk,
past.
and
That
we knew
was
that prior.
So cool to see.
And so they literally even came, like, just went straight, and then, like, they kind of stopped and whatever.
And like we
yelled
knew they
and-
were going to walk past us because before the show they actually put out a not a warning, I guess a warning.
Yeah, so
saying
right
that
before Dynamite went live,
if you're in
they're
the
like-
front row, you may be hit.
They said
with-
anyone in the
on
floor.
the floor seating. Sorry, you may be.
You are object to
may
getting
be
hit with steel chairs, ladders, tables,
Yeah, and we're like
feet,
water
legs.
bottle, Mox. He's definitely coming through here.
Yeah, so he came through, him and the whole BCC, Willer and Claudio, and they, were all serious.
So cool to see.
Chaos
that
came
place.
out first, so it was cool because then they came, like, we were right in that section where they, like, opened the guardrail, like, 3 rows back, like, catty corner.
Yeah.
If you go to my TikTok or her TikTok, you'll see photos and videos that we posted, or her Instagram. She posts a lot of photos.
Yeah, they're on my Instagram. Yeah.
Which will be down in the description of this video and in the audio on Spotify, everywhere. We'll have it in the description for this podcast episode.
Go check those out.
So we have all that in our social medias, and we had them go right there. That's where they opened the gate. And immediately, though, right as they started going through, like Moxie jumped over, then they opened it as Claudio was about to go through, and we see freaking, I think it was Rocky springboard off the turnbuckle right on a Mox immediately. I think Chucky might have met him right at the gate and hit him first, and then Moxley hit him, and then the flying of it was crazy.
Yeah, it was so cool.
It was a good match, of course. Moxley and them won. And then I believe it led to the Hung Bucks promo.
Yeah, so a story about Hung Bucks.
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
So I obviously had my Young Bucks pants on. And at Outback, I went to use the bathroom before we left, and I decided to take a few selfies. And I sent them to the Bucks' mum, being like, this is my outfit for the night, heading to Dynamite now, blah, whatever I said. And she's like, cool, hope you have fun. And I'm like, hoping to see the Bucks, hoping like she'd give me like some hint if they were going to be there.
They hadn't been announced.
They hadn't been announced. And I was like, I love these boys. Like, I really want to see them. And she goes, unfortunately, I don't think they're wrestling, but they will have a backstage promo.
Or they just like have a promo or something.
Yeah.
And so she showed me the message, and I like tweeted out. This was when we were waiting in line to get into the show. And I tweeted out like, exclusive, you heard it here first. Young Bucks will have a promo tonight or something.
They did.
So that was immediately after the BCC match. It was Adam Page and the Bucks talking about what they've been doing, attacking them and all that stuff. And they challenged them to a trios match, which is happening this coming Wednesday. So that was cool that we had that little, you'll see them type of moment with their mom messaging Sarah, which is nuts. So after that, we finally get to the MJF Adam Cole promo.
This was so good on both sides.
MJF comes out.
There was parts of MJF I actually couldn't hear because the crowd was just like, that heat that he generates.
So he came out and was already. It was a mixture. You could hear the cheers. There were signs for him.
Yeah.
But it was mainly, at least in our area, boos. And so he gets on the mic. He starts immediately calling us drug addicts because Colorado has medical marijuana and regulated marijuana where you could buy it openly if you're 21 or over. So obviously he went straight to the drug addicts line, low-hanging fruit. And of course, me as the stoner that I am, immediately hook, line, sunk. He got me.
He really did.
You go back again to my social media, my TikTok, Instagram. I think I posted it everywhere, really, of me saying, it's just weed, motherfucker, or something like that. Because I'm a mark. So yeah, like she said, there's a lot of the promo you couldn't really hear him in the crowd. We did obviously watch the show after, so we kind of got to hear everything. But and obviously it's another thing I didn't talk about before, even as the show started. Would not like the stadium probably fit 7,000. It was nowhere near sold out.
Yeah, so our side of things was pretty much full. But then the side where like the camera and things like shoot from,
I don't think they sold that side, but like even the floor didn't seem too overly on that side. But like camera side, I could tell they did when I watched it back. They did dim lighting, but we were loud for like we couldn't hear MJ. Like people were. I listened to some other like reviews and like podcasts, and people were saying like, yeah, the crowd was hot. It was
like, pretty hot.
The size they were.
There was, like I said before, there was parts where I could not hear what MJF was saying.
So it
was that loud.
There was a part where Adam eventually came out after a few 3 minutes or so or 2 minutes. Adam Cole comes out interrupting MJF. Immediately, we all lose our shit. Yeah, because we all were like kind of talking like, who would interrupt him?
And I'd seen some like not rumors, but people speculating that it was going to be Tanahashi that was going to interrupt MJF. A lot of people
thought we'd start seeing some New Japan
to set up Forbidden Door, and I was like, that's going to be cool. That makes sense. And it was freaking Adam Cole.
Which I still lost my shit, but I would have lost my shit for super sexy Tana. Anyways.
But it was Adam Cole, and that was amazing.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, we got to do the boom, and we were all saying, like, Adam Cole throughout the song. But when he went to go do the big Adam Cole, he said it at the end of the promo, finally.
Yes, we got it at the end, but...
but man, what a promo! It was a long promo, but being there live, we felt like at one point I was like, man, this is a pretty long promo, like more than I'd expect from AEW. And but it was so good, and it brought out like a super. Even though MJF talked the most, what Adam Cole said just felt like NXT main event Adam Cole. Like I know that, and obviously MJF said the line that and the delivery that he did to Adam Cole. That Adam Cole did the carrying cross. With they ring the freaking bell and the whole leading up to that. They ring the bell.
But it was so good because Adam Cole got MJF exactly where he wanted him. He wanted a match.
Got the match,
but he wanted it to come
Wednesday.
from MJF.
So it's
and
title
he
eliminator.
Pulled him in.
It was fantastic. But yeah, like, so there's the part that like we couldn't hear him was he said that, you know, he was starting to say like how he was like a fan of Adam Cole. You saw him growing
like,
up, whatever.
Admiring him growing up.
But we were chanting so loud, booing and fuck you and you piece of shit, all this stuff. And we couldn't really hear. And then that was when he was talking about watching ROH, and we couldn't hear because we were just loud. It wasn't that the audio, I guess, could have been louder, but like we couldn't hear.
But we were loud.
We were loud. And he said the ROH line, that's why we're booing. And he's like, I guess they don't like ROH or whatever. And then you could hear a little bit on the TV after, we can't hear you, kind of in the back. It's because we were just so loud. And I even said, like, oh, they could turn it up a bit. It's not overly loud at all. Like, the only thing that felt loud sometimes was the pyro. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so we couldn't hear a lot of that. And then we kind of got sucked in. You know, we got sucked in because it got good. Great back and forth to see live.
It was very, very
ended,
good.
Like you said, with Adam Cole getting what he wanted. So it's a title eliminator this Wednesday.
He got what he wanted. He wanted that match, but he wanted MJF to be the one saying let's fight, and that's what he got him to do.
Finally got him to be
champion. And you could see it in MJF's face, like once Cole accepted and like kind of backed away. You could see it in MJF's face.
Makes me wonder though.
Fuck, he got it.
So if
got
he were to somehow win this, because no one in AEW has won a title eliminator against a champion yet. If Adam Cole were to win this Wednesday, which I don't know. I really don't know if they're going to do it. When will the match happen? If that were to be the case, when will the title match take place? Forbidden Doors under 2 weeks.
I'd say All In.
That's all the way in August, isn't it?
Yeah.
All Out. Isn't it All In August and then All Out in September?
I always get confused as to what's.
I'm pretty sure it's All In at the end of August and then.
But like
all
you
out
said,
the next weekend.
Won't be at Forbidden Door.
So that's
obviously,
that's a long build.
That's generally AEW versus New Japan.
Then what would I don't know. We'll see.
But
I really don't know what they're gonna do.
I don't know. It could just be for a future title shot, and then they readdress it in a few weeks.
MJF will win it.
Maybe
because
or it doesn't happen. MJF pulls a stunt and
that would suck.
Doesn't go ahead.
Yeah.
And they delay it closer to All In or All Out.
At one point too, for the promo when he was saying that he watched him in CZW, blah 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 blah. We were chanting Mark or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm a Mark for Adam Cole. But overall, that was fantastic. There was a backstage segment with the Hardy Boys on Ethan Page. He wanted Isaiah to apologize to Isaiah for injuring him.
And he's like, I'm sorry. And Matt's like, say it like you mean it.
I'm sorry.
With his like full-blown Canadian accent.
But super low, sorry.
And then like that little handshake they both do, like they barely touch fingers. Up to his ear. Yeah, Isaiah like right in Ethan Page's ear. He's like, oh.
He does his moan. Which led to a 6-man tag, because they were basically telling Ethan Page he could do his 6-man tag match that he had set up prior to Hardy owning his contract, which was set for Rampage, which we will get to as we saw that live. We get into this crazy Texas Tornado tag match. Jungle Hook versus Dralistico and Preston Vance. Immediately, we start with Hook and Preston Vance fighting in front of us. Not directly on us or anything, but like we're third row and they're literally fighting in front of us. The flying fist with the chain happened probably within 10, 15 feet of us. Yeah. That made Preston leak everywhere. There was blood everywhere. Floor, his face, when he went over the barricade, he got all over the mat, he got all over Hook. Like, he was not, it was crazy.
Like, you had Hook and Preston, like, on one side of us, but then obviously you kind of want to keep an eye on what's going on inside the ring.
We missed
Jungle Boy ripping Dralistico's mask.
Yeah, so they were obviously, we would hear every now and again the mat like make a sound like
and then we'd quickly glance, but then go back to what we could physically see.
At one point I think he was either near us in the corner, and I was like, everyone's like, wait, his mask.
Yeah,
because we were all watching, because they were like kind of like going up to the middle, like where the cameras point to the middle, like the bowl area. And so they were kind of up there, Hook and Preston kind of fighting on this little ledge area. There was a lot of fans who left their seats and got in the way. It was really annoying to see. I felt bad for security, but they handled it very well. Then eventually it was spilled back into the ring area. It was fucking insane. It was a brutal match. Tables were broken. The only thing that I will say, being there live in that type of match, at least in that arena, I think they didn't do it in Denver as well. They didn't utilize any screens for us in the arena to watch that type of action.
No, so they obviously it being a sports arena, they had like the screens like above.
Yeah, and
But
this wasn't like
they didn't have them on.
And this was the Broadmoor World Arena in Colorado Springs. So this isn't like the Ball Arena in Denver. So the Ball Arena, which obviously the Denver Nuggets here on the 12th of June just won the finals there tonight. So if you watch that, obviously you see that's a lot packed. It was a packed arena. It's a bigger arena than where we were here in Colorado Springs, where I couldn't tell you the size, but I would get to say the Ball Arena probably could fit up to 12,000 if I had to guess. I would say this arena tops for a wrestling event 6-7K.
Yeah.
So I think they said on WrestleTix or whatever it was on Twitter, it was like almost a 3,400, sorry, people. Not 1,000, 3,400. Which are, I don't remember exactly because they said initially it was under 3,000, a little over 3,000, but walk-up I think increased. They did like a thing with the Nuggets too. If you wore Nuggets gear, you got like 2 tickets for like $28 or something. Yeah. They announced on their Facebook. But this match was crazy, so they did it well in this type of arena. It was nuts to see live. It was nuts. Want to support your favorite WWE superstar and myself all at the same time? Well, if you purchase stuff off of WWE Shop, use my WWE Shop affiliate link. That's www.www.shop.io/6EYP5Q. Using that link when you purchase anything off of WWE Shop will kick money back my way and help support my content and the future of my content. So make sure you guys use that link when you make your WWE Shop purchases to support me and your favorite superstars.
Craziness.
We went immediately into Tony Khan's announcement right after that. They got us pumped up.
Which I was kind of sort of spot on about, but at the same time not.
Yeah, so what was your prediction before?
I'd been speculating CM Punk and Samoa Joe one-on-one, which didn't happen.
I mean, the rumors from, I think it was, I couldn't tell you specifically, but either Dave or Fightful or whatever, might have been WKRD, all those ones, whatever. The rumors were that we were going to see either Jay White and Punk or Joe. Joe was the initial one that apparently Punk said it, but then apparently he requested Jay. Is the rumors that are going around amongst the dirt sheets right now that I've seen.
So, I mean, we're kind of getting it, but just not in one-on-one like I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
so now 6-man.
So what it was announced was the 6-man. It was Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoa Joe, which makes you wonder, is Samoa Joe going to have any affiliation with Bullet Club now? Bullet Club Gold. Versus FTR, and of course he did his dramatic pause. CM Punk.
Because we all didn't
and
know.
We had the mixture. I was yelling obscenities. I don't hate Punk, the wrestler or character, for the most part. The character, I feel like he should be heel.
There wasn't much of a reaction for Punk. Like when
Tony Khan there was a lot of cheers because I'm watching it back on TV. There's people that they had zoomed in Punk and they were up, but I would say it was a good mixture. I was yelling obscenity. There's a lot of people who just were like, "Oh, we knew it." Like,
yeah,
cool.
Like we knew this was happening.
But yeah, so overall, I think that's a fun match.
Oh, hell yeah. That's going to be fire.
I am over the drama, I feel, at this point. I do kind of hold a little tiny grudge because it was Kenny, and I'm just a mark. And I'll be honest about it. But, like, it's some bullshit. Like, obviously, everything that's been talked about amongst the dirt sheets of what happened at All Out last year. But it was, it left a sour taste in your mouth about what happened. And anyways, doesn't matter anymore at this point. He's back. Rumors are it's kind of like a soft brand split, so we're kind of seeing that. We haven't seen Joe on like AEW TV in a while. He's been on ROH a lot.
Yeah.
Same with a lot of people. Like we saw Miro return like a month and a half ago or a month ago.
So I think like a report came out like when we first saw Thunder Rosa and Miro that returns between now and the debut of Collision, those returning talents will mainly be Collision talents. Minus Statlander, obviously, who's now TBS
But we've never,
champion.
Tony's never addressed like that. Like I think someone asked him at that Double or Nothing post conference, like about like, is there going to be a soft brand split? Didn't like directly answer or something. Or he might, I don't remember.
He's very,
there was never
very
like an
careful about what he speaks about because I think this was before Punk was confirmed, and you know, like there was someone asked about Punk, and he's like, I cannot and I will not talk about.
I think it was
Punk
already
right
Collision
now.
was already announced, but it was before Punk was announced.
Before Punk was announced, and he's like, I will not talk about CM Punk at this time. So then everyone's kind of like,
yeah, we're gonna be live on Twitch and TikTok live on Saturday, the 17th, watching it. So I'm a mark. So yeah,
I think it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it.
This is where I mean, my voice at this point was already pretty exhausted because of ROH, Willow. I got to see a lot of favorites already at this point, both of us.
And then
I already had told you at one point that my voice was already kind of dog.
Enter Don Callis.
Enter Takeshita and they didn't know music at all. So we already had during the commercials. There was a commercial. Demon Ace standing in the ring, waiting for this match, and then so we knew there was some type of squashing coming, and I didn't see prior to us getting to the ring because we lost all service there.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything about Takeshita being announced. So when we went back, it looked like they just announced it once it went live that he was gonna have a match. So we didn't know in the ring. Us personally and the person next to me didn't have any service.
we had no idea that this is who it was going to be.
Which was good. I figured they would, but I didn't know it wasn't officially in capacity that we knew. So when he came out, like all that was playing out first, like because it was like a video package, and then it went to a different video package, and I thought it was the same thing, but it was basically Takeshita and Don's entrance. It played the whole match.
So every them,
no music.
Them attacking Kenny was just what continuously played on the Titantron. And Josh is getting so mad. He's like, really? They keep showing it. They keep showing it.
Oh,
like, why do they keep showing? And then obviously,
everyone was.
Obviously,
really.
It was a squash. Takeshita wins, and then Don Callis gets the
booing
mic, and I'm like, oh my god,
immense.
I did not hear any of his promo. I think I heard the opening word, and then that was it.
And then when we go back to watch it, we sounded loud, but not as loud as I had hoped. I thought we sounded. So the last one I went to was when we saw the Falls Count Anywhere Elite versus Death Triangle. It was the match 6 out of best of 7. That was in Denver, different arena, but we were like watched that back. That was so loud. And obviously there at the Arena Springs this past week, we were loud. But I was like, wow, I thought we would kind of match. But obviously, I guess the crowd size definitely mattered there.
I could not hear myself even think.
Yeah, but people did. So I did scroll through like comments on like Reddit and like Twitter, and people were like, "Man, yeah, he's getting some pretty good boos." Like,
yeah.
So we weren't as loud as maybe the week prior, but I thought in person we couldn't hear him.
That was.
I could just hear like when Takeshita grabbed the mic, I could just vaguely hear yelling, like obviously it's Japanese, so I'm not gonna fucking understand it. But like you couldn't even barely, you just could like hear when he got like peaked his words or something.
The only thing I remember like hearing from Don Callis in person is calling Omega a cancer.
It was funny because
that is all I remember hearing.
It was funny too because during the Takeshita match, I think our section caught his eye first, like that section of general booing, because our whole section was going nuts, flipping him off and booing and saying "fuck you," and I was calling him a pussy.
I love how you get quiet about that, like you're talking about everyone around us, and then you're like,
because I was saying I was being the markiest of marks.
But he really was. He really was letting loose.
But yeah, our section, he like kind of pointed to, he probably pointed to one person specifically that he must have heard, but it was like our section that he pointed to essentially, and it was kind of funny. But I couldn't hear shit. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Lost my voice there mainly. And then we had a backstage promo with Alex Marvez. Yeah. He went to go interview Christian, and Christian and Jungle Dress Luchasaurus, excuse me. They talked to Arn Anderson's son. They're like, Glock Anderson, F you. You know, screw you getting involved in us cheating. And attacked his son, and then Arn, addressed it just saying he's a tough boy. That was kind of it.
Yeah, pretty much handle himself.
Yeah. But from there, we got new TBS Women's Champion Chris Statlander and another humongous
I got to see 2 members of JA.
She got to see us 2 sports entertainers. She got to see Anna J. A.S. and Matt Menard, I believe he is.
I think Anna is who
Daddy Magic, I guess.
Freaked out for the most out of the entire show.
So she would land a move, and all of a sudden I'd just see out of the corner of my eye, she was to my left. She'd be clapping and like a little bit of joy for a second, just like. She'd be smiling, and let's go, Anna. I'd be like, come on, let's go, Chris. And
he'd chase Chris, and I'm like, fuck this, let's go, Anna.
Yeah, I'd be like, come on, Chris, get her. No, you go, Anna.
Get her, Anna.
She'd go almost immediately. But in the end, it was a good match, too. It did not underwhelm at all. I know a lot of people will say bathroom break match, or, we don't care too much for Anna. We knew that Chris was going to win this title match. And I would agree with you on that, but it was obviously when you go live, it was still even watching back on TV. I thought it looked good. Match was a good match, not bad fun. At all. In the end, Chris Statlander retains.
Yeah.
On the TV, we didn't see this live because they didn't even show any of this. But again, Taya Valkyrie was.
Taya was keeping an eye on Stat.
She looked very,
so
very
wants to
frustrated.
Go after
So looks like she wants to get it again. We immediately get the lineup for Rampage, which is a fatal 4-way. Britt Baker versus Sky Blue versus Mercedes versus Nyla. Winner would take on Tony Storm, which is this coming Wednesday. That happened on this past Friday's Rampage, which we'll talk about here shortly. They also announced Powerhouse Hobbs was going to be in action. They also announced a few other things that I can't. Oh, Lucha Bros trio match with Bandito versus SA. Was that against SAP? No, that was against Big Bill, Lee Moriarty, and Ethan Page.
Yeah, that was Rampage. Yeah.
And then we had SAP, Luther. Excuse me, I'm so bad with some of these names. Luther. It's not on here, so I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Luther and Helico and Serpentico took on. Oh my gosh, who was it, my love? Do you remember?
SAP, didn't they take on Acclaimed and Daddy Ass?
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so bad. The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, which was our main event. What was edited live?
Yeah,
was the
so
4-way.
Because we watched it on Friday after SmackDown, and yeah, for the main event, that was our main event, but it wasn't for you guys.
So that was all. That was, I believe, announced to us live.
Yeah.
From there, main event, Ricky Starks, Jay White, another phenomenal match. That was the second best match.
That was my match of the night.
They killed it. It started out a little slow. It gave us time to, I think, relax because we were obviously already screaming all night. And by the end of the match, we were on our feet, everyone in our section, and we were yelling. Obviously, when the guns hit the ring, coming from the crowd of we didn't. I have video of this. I didn't even see them. Even in my video, you see me panning because I'm thinking they're gonna come from somewhere, but they were already there. I totally didn't even see them.
You can hear me in Josh's video being like, I think I was like, oh, guns, and
I'm still like panning, and then I'm like,
I'm like, guns,
I finally realized
because like in my mind, I was like, holy shit, they're joining Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah, I believe they are.
Because we had rumors of a new member, and I was like, it has to be them.
Yeah.
They're helping Jay White win here. It has to be them.
I mean, can't have bullets without guns.
Exactly.
I hate the guns.
I was freaking out. I didn't expect to see the guns.
Yelling.
So I was freaking out. I was like, oh.
There was boos, and then it just got quiet. I feel like there was more Starks fans than Jay White fans. There was Jay White fans, but I felt like there was more cheering for Starks. Obviously, babyface, but I felt like I was a little surprised by that, being a smart crowd.
It was fun, though. It was a very, very good match.
Yeah, great match in the end with the help of the guns. Since FTR and Juice were banned from ringside, that meant FTR couldn't help Starks. Was it Starks I'm thinking of? Yeah, because he's going against Jay White and Juice. And Juice couldn't help Jay, but that's why the guns were there. And I guess we'll find out this Wednesday with, they haven't announced it yet, but I'm guessing we'll find out more about that. If they're part of officially the Bullet Club Gold. Good match, though. Jay White with the win. And
it's very, very good.
I'm assuming they're going to go for those tag titles soon. But we'll see what happens with Collision first with FTR. From there, we go on a Rampage. We went to the bathroom.
So, it came to the end of the show.
She got me a hot dog. I was so happy. Bumped into a couple people who recognized me. After I used the bathroom, we went out to the smoke area and was talking to them, and she was like, "Are you hungry? Do you want anything?" I was like, "I don't care. Yeah, sure. Give me something."
He's like, "I'll just share whatever you're getting." I'm like, "Well, I want a hot dog. Can't really share that." So I'm like, "I'll just buy one."
So she got us some hot dogs, and a hot dog's a hot dog. I thought it was good.
And like,
I'm easy to please with those hot dog or burgers.
So we were outside talking to some people that he was chatting to.
Literally walked up, and like after she finally found me, I guess she couldn't find me right away.
So it was actually, the catering was right next to where Josh had gone out. Yeah. And I couldn't spot him out there, but I spotted...
I was just in the corner by the door.
Cyber Spartan. And he'd kind of walked over to an area.
We had talked to him a few times already.
And I was like, I'm just going to see where he's going. And I kind of peeked, and I saw the corner of Josh's shirt. I'm like, he's going to talk to Josh. So that's how I found Josh, was through Cyber.
And it was good. I ate almost all of it before we sat down. I think she ate all of hers before we sat down.
I was done before we even went back inside.
But we got back in, so they actually started filming while they were still setting up the ring and everything.
Yeah, because I had an on-stage
They started filming the Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, and all them with Aubrey and Mark and
Briscoe.
all that. So we came in as it was already happening. Like Mark was already there.
like the end
And so
of it.
we missed the first part live, but obviously we saw it after when we got back home. We played it immediately. Like we sat down, ate our food, and watched it again. So we saw the what happened, and it was that they came out saying that AEW wouldn't sanction a match, but they would sanction a trios and a gender match,
which protects Aubrey.
Then that's when Mark Briscoe was involved, and he said that it was going to be Papa Briscoe, his dad, and Aubrey Edwards and himself against Karen, Jeff, and Jay, because at first on Jay made it sound like it was gonna be him, and then he was like, "You could do it. You could do it."
Yeah, he's like, it's gonna be you. But Josh actually had a good point about this. It's probably gonna be like a cinematic.
I don't think they're
thing,
gonna do
at the farm,
like at the arena whenever it's was scheduled.
It'll be at Briscoe's farm, which makes sense.
I think they didn't officially
or
say.
Jarrett's
They
property,
called it a match, so I don't know.
Property.
But we'll see. This sounds interesting. So we missed the first part of that, because that's when we finally got back to our seats.
It's caught the end of it, but the guy next to Josh kind of
said,
filled
like,
us
oh,
in
it's
a little
just
bit.
gonna
This
be a
is what you
match,
missed.
like he
Yeah.
told me. And then from there, they jumped into our first match, which I believe was Lucha Bros, Bandito versus Big Bill, Ethan Page, and Lee Moriarty. They didn't call them the firm anymore. I guess the firm's done.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you watch ROH TV, you saw that Stokely is now a GM of some sorts in ROH.
Yes.
So I guess he's moved on. So this was a really fun 6-man. It started immediately with them doing shit to the outside. We got some good shots of Phoenix, who came up to literally the corner of the barricade where we were, and held up his ROH tag title right in front of us. We got really good photos.
I love Lucha Bros, but I love Ray Phoenix.
So
I'm so glad it was him that
awesome.
came to our side.
They did some things right there. They started fighting right in front of us, basically again, right by the barricade. Hard-hitting match. Edited down, obviously, on TV.
Yeah, it was,
just a bit. It was, I'd say, at least a 11-minute match.
But it was still fun.
It was edited down just a bit, just because there was a commercial during the match on TV. But it was really fun match, hard hitting. It ended with the Hardys coming out, telling that Ethan, in his contract, he had to wear his bands properly. So Ethan corrected his bands, and they were Hardy bands,
just like
Jeff
I gave
Hardy.
you something to wear, you need to pull them up.
And then he was immediately attacked from behind after that, and he got rolled up. And after that, he had him shake, hands with Lucha Bros and Bandito, and made them wait, like, no, shake their hands.
Yeah, like Matt was pretty much cheering on the opposite team
and,
here. He's like, you guys did a good job.
And then
good
he
job.
made them dance and he made him do the Hardy dance. I got video of that. I posted that to TikTok and Instagram.
So that wasn't actually shown on Rampage, obviously.
They posted
but I believe it's on their
They posted
YouTube.
it to social media. Yeah,
it's on their YouTube now. If you want to go and find that.
That was hilarious.
So fun.
From there, I think we went into the Powerhouse Hop match.
Yes, because then it was the Fatal 4-Way.
Yep. So we went to Powerhouse Hobbs versus a local competitor, Caleb Crush.
Who everyone seemed to know.
I believe I'm assuming wrestled either in Colorado Springs Wrestling, the organization, or the Rocky Mountain Pro, either or.
Because there was a lot of people around us who were cheering him, who knew his name.
So yeah, he had even Justin Roberts like, let him hear you. Like, it was during them setting up, obviously. It's because it's a taping. So Powerhouse Hobbs squashes him in about 2 minutes tops.
Oh, yeah.
I guess there was a promo. We watched this on Rampage. There was that QTV before that actually made me chuckle this time.
It was funny.
It was pretty funny. They had a line about making an announcement that made me laugh. But yeah, Powerhouse Hobbs with a big win. I guess not big win, but it was a quick win. Watch this podcast ad-free at my website, heeljosh.com. Sign up for my Patreon-style memberships, joining the Heel tier at $5 a month, $4.50 for your first month. That will give you ad-free access to the Kliq cast every week that it's up. No ads at all. If you are a Kliq tier member, you will still get the ads, but you will get the podcast 2 to 4 hours before it goes up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. But the Heel tier, completely ad-free, as well as that 2 to 4 hours before it goes up everywhere else. So make sure you guys go to heeljosh.com, subscribe today, get that ad-free viewing. From there, we got to the Fatal 4-Way, which was the main event on TV.
Yeah, the TV main event.
But for us, it was that
we were surprised it wasn't.
So the Fatal 4-Way happened. Good match. First time I see Mercedes on TV. I couldn't even tell you if she's been on Rampage. I don't keep up with Rampage. So if she's been on there recently prior, I missed it. But Mercedes, great to see her. Nyla, great to see her. I love both of them. Of course, Sky Blue. And of course, that was my first time seeing DMD, Britt Baker. I think the majority of the people in our area all thought it was going to be Britt.
Yeah, like I was very, very surprised. Like I love Sky. But I really thought it was going to be Britt walking away with the win. Like even my brother texted me, he's like, I assume Britt wins. And I was like, no. It's like, sorry, she didn't. But I think there's a lot of people around us who assumed Britt was going to
It was a fun
there.
Fatal 4-Way. They did a lot of stuff on the outside into the barricade. But yeah, in the end, Sky Blue with the win.
Yeah.
She got the good
She's
victory.
facing Tony this week for the title.
Yeah, it's going to be hopefully a good match.
I was kind of like, I love Britt anyway, but I kind of wanted Britt to win for my own selfish reason.
Fun fact, that is Sky Blue's first win on either Dynamite or Rampage.
It is.
She's never won on TV. Mm-hmm. She's only won on Dark, never won on Rampage or Dynamite.
But yeah,
That was her first time. Singles match.
Britt to win for my own selfish reason. Because if you know me, you know I want Britt versus Jamie.
Yeah, they've teased that multiple times.
Like
now.
I was saying to Josh, I'm like, Britt winning is perfect because you have Britt win. She beats Tony on Wednesday, and Jamie comes back and is like, hey. That's
depending on how long she's going to be out, though.
But I didn't get it, so.
So it's going to be interesting to see this Wednesday, Tony. I think Tony obviously wins.
Tony will win, and I really, really hope that Sky puts up a good fight for her, though.
And then for us, our main event, the Acclaimed versus SAP. Angelico Luther, and Serpentico.
It was cool seeing Acclaimed.
Yeah, they did their whole rap. He did a Lauren Boebert line, who's... I forget exactly her title, but she's some type of government official for Colorado, and that made me laugh. There was a few other lines, but I felt like sometimes kind of hard to hear.
Yeah, so I didn't catch a lot of his rap because obviously they're huge over with the crowd. So, fair enough, the crowd was losing their minds, which is fair.
But the match was not bad. It wasn't long. I felt like longer than I expected, but it was obviously our main event in the arena. They even had Justin Roberts tell us to do the line. And we were
he's like, hey, do you guys want to do it?
So that's why we thought that would be the main event on Friday, which obviously made sense. It was a Fatal 4-Way. I just thought they would follow the order that they taped.
Because we thought that was going to be our main event, and then they started. I think
makes sense. It was a tape.
They started the end. We saw Sky's entrance. We're like, it's not the main event.
Just assumed that for us it would be the main event. But yeah, so that was a fun 6-man tag. In the end, a lot of comedy spots with them doing the scissors at the start with them. And they would fake them out with Bowens and Helico, and then they finally started going. And it was a good match in the end. Of course, the Acclaimed Daddy Ass win. After they had this cool thing where they had a young fan who was sitting ringside. She had the foam scissors, and she had a Sammy Guevara shirt on, I believe.
No, she had an AEW I Was Here shirt.
Okay.
But
so they brought her in with the Acclaimed, I believe, because we saw Amanda Huber walking around talking to security all night with a headset.
Yeah, so
I'm assuming she set
that up for her. But
we think that's how it got set up. She went in there, and he was like, "What's your name?" And I don't remember, Shiloh or something, Shayla, Shola. It was really unique and really cool, and Billy marked for it. Yeah. And of course, he asked her how long she's watched AEW or something like that. And she's like, "I've watched it since I was really little."
And
she was like
really
8.
Little, huh?
She's like 8 or 9
at the most.
And then so he was like, "Are you big now?" She goes, "Yeah," and everyone laughed. Too. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm big too."
But the one thing that I loved is he's like, so who's your favorite wrestler? And she says Sammy Guevara.
And the crowd laughed and cheered.
That's not just some name she thought of. There's a YouTube video.
She actually has her family posted a video of the whole
Sammy and Ty were actually the ones that told her she was going to Dynamite.
Yeah, her dad bought tickets, and they had a video that they said you're going to Dynamite in Colorado.
She got Sammy Guevara figures.
They went all the way from
shirts.
New Mexico and stuff, so it was pretty cool.
It was fun to see.
And they did did the scissors with her. So that was cool to see, and the interaction at the end. And they did announce that they're coming back to Colorado in September. Right after my mom's birthday.
Yeah.
So up in Broomfield, Colorado. So I'm definitely, I think they said the tickets were going to go on sale this Friday.
Excited.
But I've been looking on the website, and there's nothing posted about it yet.
They announced they're coming back.
In the middle of Dynamite.
A bit later, they announced when tickets go on sale, and Josh just starts freaking out. He's like, I get paid next week!
Because he said they'd go on sale this coming Friday.
This is perfect. They know I'm getting paid next week. He was so excited.
So I went to the one in Broomfield in December, and obviously you guys have heard the story a million times. We had a blizzard right during the show.
No blizzard this time.
But good show. I got to see the Elite last time, and hope to see him next time in September. But what did you think overall of your first AEW experience?
I loved it.
And that's the second time you've ever been to a live televised wrestling show.
Yeah, that was my... so I've been to a whole lot of local indie shows, house shows, but this is my...
And that's in Australia.
Second ever... Yeah, back home. This is my second ever attending a live show.
A show that was airing live on TV.
The first one was Super Showdown in, I think, 2018 or something. 17.
Yeah, in Australia.
But yeah,
I remember footage of 2 kids wrestling in an area where there was no seats, and the crowd went viral from that show. Yeah. They were suplexing each other and AAing each other and shit. Yeah. And the crowd were like, yeah, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but no, it was very fun.
Yeah, that was
I enjoyed it.
However many live, I've been to many Raws and SmackDowns, and there was most of the SmackDowns were taped, I believe. But second ever AEW show for me. I love that they did, of course, a few ROH matches, so I could technically now say I've seen ROH. Obviously, to an extent. Cool to see a lot of the people that I hadn't seen, like Mark Briscoe. I wish I could have seen the Briscoes tag team, which I've never got to see in person live. So bummer, but I got to see Mark. Obviously, that's great. I don't know. I really can't. Jay White was probably the big one for me that I loved that I haven't seen before. There's probably more countless that I can't think of off the top of my head. This is the second time I've seen Willow because she was also in some type of like either Dark Elevation match the first time I saw her. But that was fun. A little
bit bummed there was no House of Black. Just for the Aussie
oh, that's
side
right.
of
And I
things
missed them when they last came because me and Rick went out on a smoke break because we heard people coming out and they were like, I forgot what promotion they came from. It was a Japanese promotion. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't know these guys. They're from like Japan. They were part of some match on like a dark match or something recently. And then he's like, "Well, let's go smoke." So we went outside smoke, and it ended up being they faced House of Black. Obviously, probably like a 3-minute match, but like,
it's like damn.
Missed it because when I watched Dark Elevation that like next Monday, I was like, "Wait, I don't remember House of Black match."
Yeah,
I was there.
You're like I went out.
But so I'm gonna definitely try to be going to the September show.
Yeah.
Do you hope to go to another show?
Fuck yeah.
Of course, she wants to sing Judas next time.
I want to sing Judas. I want to see Sammy and Ty when they're not in Brazil.
Yeah, last time she wanted to see Sammy and Ty, they were actually gonna fly out to Australia, and then they canceled like the week of.
I had tickets. I had meet and greet tickets.
I wonder if they canceled because she got pregnant.
That's what I think. So.
Well, no, because how long along would she need to be now?
Well, if they waited until the safe mark, it's about 12 weeks, 3 months.
Oh. Yeah, she does have a bump, so.
So I have a feeling because they put it down to travel issues, saying that the wrestling promotion they were supposed to appear for like didn't book them right. Like there's just a whole flight issues. But I now have a feeling that it's because they found out she was pregnant.
Possibly. She's been off TV for a long time.
Because she was supposed to be. It was supposed to be in February. So. But yeah, I didn't get to sing Judas.
And I will say my experience from the first time I went, we saw a lot of matches because they were filming Dark and Elevation at the time. And then it went into Dynamite and then Rampage for us in December last year. So that was a lot. It was fun because it was a lot of wrestling, but we were there a long time. And for us, we made that trip up. And that trip for me was already kind of, I got car sick because I somehow, for some reason now get car sick when I'm a passenger when I go on long rides like that. It's a 2-hour trip, but like, fuck, it sucks. When I was in LA, I was supposed to do, a little quick side story. I was supposed to do a partnered video, which I did with this company that, with like the glasses that like help you with motion sickness. I have like the little liquid and stuff, like the circles. They look really funny. I took them and I was going to do a thing where I did a video while I was out in LA using them. And I did use them about every Uber because it was like a 40-minute drive. So I didn't know how long it would take to kick in, obviously. Luckily, I had no issues. I also had something else, it's called a relief band. But I think the glasses helped the most. And I posted a video, but they never approved it under the TikTok ad settings. They have to approve it. And they never did, so I just deleted it. But so I'm hoping, since now that'll be September, that's going to be the start of fall into summer. The worst weather at that point will be rain for us.
Yeah.
So hoping to take my own car, which I'm hopefully taking to the shop thanks to you guys who listen and who watch my Twitch streams and help with that subathon a few weeks back. That car should be going to the shop sometime this week. Thanks to you guys helping me get that. That was the main point of the subathon. And hopefully I'll be able to drive my own car up this time and not have to worry about the motion sickness. If though, I'll still wear the relief band and the glasses if I am a passenger. But yeah, so I'm excited. Hopefully I get to go to that one. I'm going to definitely try. And even at last 2 times I've both got third row in like that same area or a similar area to the, like across from the stage. I'm going to try to get bowl this time. I don't want to try to do floor this time. I want to try to not have to worry about standing up all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, still probably do it here and there, but not as much in the bowl area because it goes down. So you don't really have to worry about, unless someone's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm only 5'5", so I still have to worry about it. But this is going to be the end of the second episode, our review of our live Dynamite experience. Anything else you want to add, my love?
Not really.
Guys, follow her everywhere. That's what she meant to say.
Sure. Oh, follow me.
Yeah, she has a link tree that'll be in the description down below this video or in the description of the Spotify. That takes you to her Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, as well as her exclusive fan page.
Yep, it's got everything on there.
So I'll follow me. Follow me on my link tree. Takes you to my website where, of course, if you're listening to this, you are either on YouTube or Spotify. You can listen on my website, hilljosh-shop.fourthwall.com. Under my exclusive memberships, there's Patreon-style memberships on my website. And if you are a Heel tier member, you are getting this ad-free. So if you're not, go subscribe to that $5 a month. It supports me, helps me keep this podcast going, as well as use the code HillJosh for GFuel 20% off, as well as use my WWE Shop affiliate link and follow me everywhere. All that's in that link tree. That's why I'm saying it all. So go do all that. Just hit the link tree and we'll go check it all out. And we'll catch you probably Thursday for a review of Raw, NXT, and this week's Dynamite.